All right. Hey, y'all. It is so good to be in the fellowship of believers, and not just any believers, but KBN family. It is a privilege to be here. And I just want to come and just cover y'all. And just so that you all know, for those of you who don't know me, I am Emissary. I'm known as Mother of Change. I'm known as a Family of Change founder. But I need you to know that I have a very strong mantle on my life for breakthrough, but specifically families, okay? And so as I'm praying today, I want you to know that what I released today is specific, okay? Because we come here, and I was born, my mom was only 14 when she had me, and we have a string like just of generations of poverty. And so I understand what it's like to be born on the wrong side of the tracks where people were dying on the block. So I understand, Pastor Chandler, we say from gangster to PhD. Okay, like I understand the term from gangster to PhD, and it's good when we have a little bit. Chanel says, what did she say? Like, what's that word? She's like, ratchet. Okay, we all understand when she says a little bit ratchet. Okay. We understand that. And so I just want to pray today because, listen, I have gone to so many entrepreneurial conferences. I went from complete broke, making money, to complete broke again. And one thing I need to tell y'all today, okay, since this is the last day, is that I have been to so many. We can be like conference junkies, okay, where we just go and we get the information. We get the information, and we go on it. Okay. And so I just want to tell y'all today, you have to execute. Everybody say, I need to execute. And I will execute today. I want you, before you leave this conference today, before you leave this room today, before you leave the first session, okay? Every time we have a session from this point on, whenever you go to a conference, you need to write down one point of action. Okay. It's great to just take notes. Like, this is what they said this, they said that. You have to write down. Okay. If you have a schedule, bringing your schedule to the conferences and scheduling. I'm going to do this on this day, have somebody keep you accountable. Okay. So that's just a tool that I want to give you all. Right. But I just want to go to the Lord right now in prayer. So normally I cover my head. So Lord, I just like to cover my head, but I don't have my cover today. So, and I just come right now. And I just, your presence, Father. First, I just want your Ruach, and I use it in the Hebrew terms, okay, for the Godhead. So I just want to ask right now that the Ruach HaKodesh would just come and fill this place. Holy Spirit, just come and fill this place. Come and fill this place. Come and fill this place. Every assignment that has followed every single one of these people. I know you know what I'm talking about. There are assignments that are put against us, sometimes generational, sometimes they're regional. And so the first thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to speak, because Atlanta has a lot of regional demons, y'all. Okay. And just the fact that we're turf right now, I'm going to claim first this room right now for Jesus Christ. I call him Yeshua. Father, Lord, I just come right now, and we are just going to stake the claim that this room, that this territory, that this hotel, Father, Lord, we would claim your blood over all of this ground right now, all the ground that are stepping on right now, Father, Lord. I just want to say right now, Jesus Christ is Lord. And I want to proclaim right now that every regional, every territorial demon that would come up and see the glory of God here and come in and try to manifest, that he would be bound. They would be bound in the name of Jesus Christ. And as I was praying, I was asking what to pray against. I heard ambiguity. Okay. So I wanted to look it up. And I just want to say that there is a spirit of ambiguity, and it causes uncertainty and confusion. So I'm just going to break that off right now. So we break off uncertainty, confusion, and I just ask for grace, peace, and mercy. And I pray also, I just want to say while I'm up here, that I'm going to break off debt, everything that has caused you and your generations, that you will be the generational breaker for debt. So I just thank you, Father, that these people are doers, they are executors, and they will make a change for their generations. And I lift this all up in Jesus' name, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Praise God. Come on. Thank God for that. Amen. All right. He done some heavy lifting, heavy work. And Chris, you can let me know if I should switch. You hang on to this. I don't know if you can hang on that one. All right, cool. All right. Let's get going. Let's get going. Let's get going. Let's get going. I'm excited about today. And what God's given me to say. He shifted a lot of different things. And we're going to go into activation, but we're going to talk about activating the apostolic gift inside of you. I'm curious how, or let's put it down and see what happens. Let's see how high it is. I'm going to put it right. Oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. All right. And thank you to the team. Thank God for my Faith on Friday team one more time real quick. All right. I think we're going to do this early. I might call you back up here to lift it up. I'm going to flow with y'all. Someone say flow. So our focus, flow, foundational scriptures come from Nehemiah chapter 4. You already know if you're an apostle, you understand where that is at. You can read that if you want. Nehemiah 4:17 talks about this. It says, who were building the wall, those who carried materials, someone say materials, did their work with one hand on the tool, the other hand on the weapon. New Living Translation says, hands supporting their load and one hand holding a weapon. English Standard Version talks about it again, about one hand on one weapon, the other hand on the tool. Someone say, I can do this. Right now, that I thank you for revelation, insight, strategy for them to build, create, and do. Let them go back to their cities, back to their regions with strategy like never before. In Jesus' name, amen. You all, my wife is in the building. Can y'all thank God for Isaiah and one of my children's son? Come on, wave high, wave high, wave high. Let's go. What's up? Just want to honor her and show some love. Just thank God, whole team as well. All right, let's go. Here we go. So I want to talk to you all from this subject right here. Here's the subject. I want to talk to you all from the subject, activating the apostle in you. Now, I know we have a lot of prophets in the house. That's great, and prophetic gifts. But what's happening during this conference is all the gifts are getting activated so that you can use these gifts in the marketplace. So there's some of you all in here, like myself, God's been dealing with me about this. We must take that apostolic charge. We must take what I can think about is like basketball, where the basketball player is running at him full speed about to dunk, but you're here and you're assigned to stand here and take what's coming your way. We calling from God is beautiful. Like this assignment from God is going to be some assignment that's going to be nice and easy, that your business is just going to bloom and great with any opposition. And what happens is the enemy likes us to use words such as, oh, they just haters, or they just people who get on my nerves. But really, these could be people assigned to the charge for you to take. Someone say, I got to activate the apostle in me. I got to activate it. Now let's look at this. Nehemiah 4:17 talks about building the wall, constructing the wall. Someone say constructing, building. So for you to activate the apostle in you, you have to be about more doing than talking. People who have a shepherding gift and a teaching gift, we must get this and understand that it's different than what I'm doing on this stage. After I'm on this stage, am I going on the website? Am I stewarding? Am I going out there and releasing new product? Am I coming up with another design? Not just preaching and empowering people. That's powerful. Some of you all, that gift is being activated in you. You were dormant and you have been this. You always do, but you don't talk. And God's releasing you to say, hey, listen, instead of typing all the time, start the podcast. It's time for you to activate that apostolic work in you and go out there and get the equipment, do what you need to do, and build that brand and do that podcast. But then there's some of us, we're great at teaching. And 1 Corinthians 3:6 talks about this. It says this. This is what Paul, the apostle, says. Ryan, this messed me up. It says this. I planted the seed, Apollos watered. Paul is saying Apollos is not an apostle like me. He's a teacher. We need both. He said, but I'm out here planting. I'm out here planting churches and then assigning someone to shepherd it. I'm out here planting another church. So they wanted Paul to stay. Yeah, he might have had a gift of teaching, but Paul had to be on the go. Who's in this room who has to start getting more on the go? You're staying local with something that's called to be global. The only way God can trust you with global is if you activate the apostle. 1 Corinthians 6, I planted the seed. Apollos watered it, but God has been making it grow. Now, here's the dope part. As much as I'm planning, as much as you're teaching, nothing matters unless God grows it. Nothing matters. Nothing matters unless you make profit this month. You didn't make the profit. You might have planted it. You didn't make the profit. You might have watered it. God is the one that you month to month. God is the one that helps you scale. We talk about it, we make it an art, and we try to make it real classy with words and saying, this is how you scale, this is how you climb, this is how you do whatever. But at the end of the day, for kingdom entrepreneurs, it's God that makes me increase. Someone say, God makes me increase. So here we are. You have to know what season you're in, young Nehemiah. Are you called to plant more in the marketplace or water? Do you already have stuff out there, but you just don't water it? Like you're always coming up with new ideas. Like you create it, and then when it's time to work it, you hate it. My God, you create it, but when it's time to work it, you hate it because you like creating new stuff. I as a musician, as an artist, when I used to do Christian, I understand that. I like to make albums versus albums. Because you can make an album, but not sell the album. And if you're going to be an independent recording artist, sometimes I know you have more creativity in you, but God's saying, before you cut another album, how about you upload this one to iTunes? And how about you sell? And no, to go on tour first. And I know you're bored with this song, but the world did not hear the song yet. It's time for you to activate the apostle and the recording artist and work that one song for 6 months, because your increase is in that thing which you should work versus create. We have to separate as entrepreneurs creativity and workability. Know what season am I planning right now in business or watering? Or am I called to do both? Because you can't. I had both going. All right. So we're activating apostle, but we must take this apostolic charge. And so for your field, what are you called to do? What are you called to do in your field? And I want us to say this real quick. When I say apostle, I want you to say works, 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 works. Apostle. Works, 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 works. And what's really love about this, that I love, is this gift and tool that God has placed in the body of Christ. We're going to move it up, or help me out. This gift, I'm tired of looking now, I got to see them at the same time by the Spirit. This gift that God, thank you, man. Come on, for Earl's muscles. Come on, make some noise. That's right. I've been watching on Instagram, man. You holding it down, man. You holding it down. Come on, working, not just talking. Fitness, working fitness. What if you activated the apostle on your fitness journey? It's so easy for me to download the app and look at the cute workouts, but to go do one? How many new ones are you going to download? Like, how many new ideas? No, get your behind up, do some sit-ups, look, this is what's going on. There's always going to be a new way to water the gift, but there's only one way to work the gift, and that's you planting. There's a lot of people out there watering. And it's okay. The seasons where you're called to do that. I remember one time God said to me as an entrepreneur, he said, you download every cool looking app, every Monday.com, later.com, Evernote, Google Docs. God said, just how about you activate the apostle of organization in your business? There's no new app that's going to do something for you that you got to get your behind together and do. Paul was willing to plant churches. Then he could assign a new Google Drive leader to that church, or an Evernote, or he woke himself up, got on the boat, he eliminated excuses, he got whipped, he got persecuted, all these things. Paul, the gospelpreneur, made sure he woke up and worked. And in 2021, with all these gadgets and all this advertising on Instagram, on everyone saying side hustle, or you work that 9 to 5, everybody out there, let me help you out. How are you going to separate yourself? Here we go, write this down. This is how you're going to separate yourself as a kingdompreneur versus everybody else who's on this entrepreneur wave. They are going to walk around talking about water, and you're going to wake up and work. They're going to walk around and talk, going to wake up and work. There's a difference. You're going to plant seeds. Someone say, I'm building something. So this gift and tool of apostleship is about movement, activity, and doing. So here we go. It's not wrong with this, but this is what God was dealing with me about. Charged with the gift versus stewarding a gift. Annoyed with the calls versus forwarding the calls. Apostles pick up the calls when they don't feel like it. We pick up the phone when we don't feel like it. The work, there's a job that has to get done. There's a sale that needs to be made, even though the annoying as said when you don't feel like saying it. You are out. God is activating the apostle. Now, we've been talking about all these gifts. I want us to get this. Remember, what Dre said was so essential. Don't look at these gifts as titles no more. These are now, look at these. Don't look at these words as titles. Look at them as giftings, so that you can activate and go in and out of them without persecution in your mind. Like, am I an apostle? Am I a prophet? No, some of you all know it is what it is. You know what you are. But for some of you all, there's seasons of activity that God's calling you towards, but you got to step into it. Someone say, I can work my gift. I'm building something. I'm building something. I'm building something. And what I saw is this real quick. I'm building something. Ashai, you can get my phone on my book bag real quick, my church phone. And so I saw a hammer, and we don't have no tools here right now. But what I saw is this. It's right there. It's right there in the main pouch. I saw myself building real quick, right? And so what I wanted us to do, yeah, you can hit this line up real quick. Yeah, call this phone, John, for me real quick. So I'm building right now. Hit this line up, man. Building. But here it is. There's a call coming in. People need me. But I'm working. I'm working on something. And here, oh man, the phone's ringing. But this is my time to write the book, man. They need me right now, but this is the opportunity for me to be an apostle. Oh man, what I got to do? How do I handle building? How do I chip away at something when everything's trying to chip away at me? How do I get something done? How do I get going when everybody likes to pull on me? I never thought being an entrepreneur would mean I had signed up to be someone's therapist. I did not know me signing up to start this work means that I would be on Zooms and conference calls. And now it's less working and more talking. And the devil's trying to get me succumbed by meetings after meetings yet I'm not meeting the requirement of execution. Not activating. The book didn't drop yet. The CD was never recorded. I spent years talking to people about dreams versus activating the prophetic steps necessary for me to build, for me to shake, for me to create. And I'm wondering why I'm broke with a prophecy. And the reason why I'm broke with a prophetic word, because the prophetic word only answers the call of prosperity. The spirit of obedience starts stepping. But if I can get you to sit in the chair and look at a camera all day long versus move those fingers and move that feet and listen to that alarm clock and write with your hand, you will not enter into the season of prosperity that I'm calling you towards, daughter, that I'm calling you towards, son, because now you're wasting time being a receptionist to your own destiny. And you wonder why God's not sending you admin, because you're too in love with admin. Because you're doing all the admin yourself. You're scared to release it sloppy. So you focus on how to make it look good before you even do it good. So everything's ready for your book, but you didn't even write it yet. You know what website, you know how you got the cover done, you got everything taken care of for your product and services, but yet you did not release your product and services. A real apostolic apostle, entrepreneur is willing to create it and release it with it being muddy. I may not have all the tools. I may not be on all the websites, but I'm on this one. You know what I'm saying? I got to focus on my time. And that's why I think I admire about your music career. I thought about it. You had a lot of options on the table, but you did it God's way and you executed it. And you may not could be like this person or that person. They might have more gadgets, more tools, or more team members. But my wife and I, we're going to be obedient and we will release it the best way we can. Someone say release it. You got to learn how to release stuff the best way you can. Don't compare yourself to anybody who's on another level. God is looking at your release. He does not compare your release to someone else's release. He only compares your release to your faith to release it. I'm building something. My first point, I'm building something. I'm building something. How do I avoid that thing, that little busyness syndrome that wants to attack that apostle gift in me? How do I get rid of that? I have to build something. I have to build something grand, not just great, grand. Someone say grand. Grand has to do with vision. Grand has to do with what God showed me. Being great has to do with me comparing myself to what you think God told me to do. No one can tell you if you're doing a grand job, but you can look like you're doing a great job. Grand has to do with what God showed you. What God showed you. I can fake like I'm great. I could do, but you don't know if I'm being grand. The grander vision, the larger vision that God's telling you to do. Here we go. I got to receive the brand and just become it. Just become it. I got to receive the brand. And I also got to receive the brand to become it. And I thought about Peter. For all these kingdom entrepreneurs in here, come on, put your hands together for yourself real quick. Come on, put your hands together for yourself for being sloppy, for not being perfect. Come on, for misspelled words in the book. Come on, put your hands together. Come on, for the grammar being off, but the email sent. Come on. Accidentally, you tried, you slipped up and you did some sloppy stuff in business. You had to learn. You had to learn. You mixed money. You made mistakes, but you were out there. Didn't the Apostle Paul tell us that? If he was perfect at traveling and planting churches, then why'd he go to jail? First of all, Paul, how'd you get caught, dude? You gotta be smooth. You already know you're out there in the sea. How did you almost drown? What was wrong with your boat? What if Paul had a self-criticism issue? What if he said, well, my boat's not the best boat, evidently, because I almost drowned last year and I got arrested. What did I do wrong? What if he focused on the politics connected to his prophecy? God signed you up to be prophetic, not political. Your heart's Republican and your brain's Democrat. And you're in debate on if you should step out and do it. And you're waiting for other people around you to vote. You need Congress just to listen to one God. So your heart is running for president this year, but now your brain's like, no, I was president last year. You went through a whole year debating if you should do it or not. Can you imagine living your whole life? That's what it is, debating. When God sends a prophetic word, he does not send it through democracy. He sends it through theology. Your knowledge of God in your business. Now, let me make sure I don't sound too profound. Let's align it back to business so you can really make sure you take something home from this, because I want to just keep sounding profound. What am I saying? I'm saying when you debate with yourself from that which God placed in yourself, you're wasting time. God did not call Paul to have the best looking boat. He called him to get his behind over there in Corinthians, take your behind over there in Greece, get to the spot. Someone say, get to the spot. Here we go. Which app, which tool, which devices help you as an entrepreneur get to the spot? You can't use everything everybody else has used. What helps you get to the money? What helps you get to the bag? What helps you get paid faster? It might help you. No, Cash App helps me get paid faster. It looks sloppy or whatever. PayPal, like some of us, we're so critical on the tools we're using, but God said, this is your slingshot for the season. What if David was comparing his slingshot to everybody else's sword? What if you're called to kill the fourth quarter in PayPal? What if you're called to kill the fourth quarter in Novo? What if you're called to kill the fourth quarter and trust and invoicing people, and God gives you a weird word saying, I know you usually take deposits. I just want you invoicing the whole fourth quarter. Don't take a deposit first. And somehow, some way, these Hebrews actually keep their word and pay you first. Somehow, some way, they just keep their word this year. And you don't have to be fake professional. Because sometimes we start off professional with each other. Hey, how you doing? And then when you see the Hebrew come out, you're like, hey, girl, I need my money. You see it come out. You see it come out. Jesus said to Paul, upon this rock I shall build my church. I want us to, this came from just hearing all of our speakers so far during this conference. What really blessed me the most is Jesus said, upon this rock, man, listen, let's stop trying to be so clean for God. You may not be good at writing, but you're obedient. God will make you an anointed writer. Which is better, a good writer or anointed writer? God's going to do something in your business. It has nothing to do with skill, it has everything to do with will, his will over your skill. He's going to make you successful by breathing into you. And you will realize Peter was a stubborn thug, disciple, but walked on water. He was the brand for the church. God said, I want my bride, the thing I'm supposed to cherish. I want to cherish this thing on something sloppy. The church didn't come in with stilettos on. It came barefoot. The bride was built. What are you trying to clean? I said, no, I need you to go back to that slingshot that you killed the bear and the lion with. I know you can afford blazers and dresses and heels, but what did you used to use? Chanel mentions a story of how God instructed her to use a picture. She had other nice pictures and all this cool stuff, but God said use that picture. And it was a picture that looked more common. It was a nice picture, but it didn't show the magical ability how she could take photos. It was like a regular picture, but that was the picture that worked for that. That was the slingshot of season. What is your slingshot season? Sometimes when we face something bigger in business, we think we got to find something bigger to kill it. So because it's bigger, what can I do to make myself feel bigger? So you wear a suit, but good at speaking in suits. You're better in jeans. That's what I love about Eric Thomas. He said they didn't accept him the way he was. But he came in his slingshot until Goliath showed up. But when you kill Goliath enough, everybody else who's looking all bougie and stuff will realize you have something to rock with. Second point, apostles release, pastors train. I want you to understand this as you activate this apostle in you, because a lot of us, you're spending time training your people in your business. You have all these training systems, and that's great and that's dope. I do that as a pastor in ministry, but let's equate it to marketplace. You spend most of your time building your efforts and training your systems and fine-tuning things, but that's not activating the apostolic charge. That's not activating the apostle in your business. That's activating the trainer, but it's okay. But here is what the scripture says, and the KJV version really blesses me, and it confirms what Kingdom Business Network does and why we do it. The other translations talking about God appointed these gifts. We heard it throughout this whole week to the church, but the KJV assigns it to what it almost was interpreted as. Here we go. And God has set some in the church. Then it goes first apostles, second prophets, third teachers, and then after miracles, gifts, and healings, helps, governments, diversity of tongues. But the key word is some. That means the others are in the market. We think these gifts are in the church. And then we try to make it real nice and say the church is just us as a body. God's saying, no, I'm also have gifts out there that are outside the church that are apostles. So when I confirm and talk about activating the apostle in you, when it comes to your faith-based business, your program, your curriculum, and what God has you doing, the question is, when was the last time you got up and you did it ugly and you worked sloppy, but it was successful? Paul said, I'm the least of these. He was an apostle. His work spoke for himself. His outfit wasn't dope all the time. How dare I look cute? How dare you have the best website? You spent $5,000 on a website, but haven't released the $50 product. You know what I'm saying? We're spending money on trainings and systems. Why are you building a marketing budget? Why? You don't need a marketing budget. You need an obedience budget. And that's just your heart. Your heart is free. Get off me, fly, in the name of Jesus. Trying to come at me. Two of them to come at me, right? Your heart is free. Oh, that's crazy, God sent a fly. We're going to talk about that. No, seriously, it's in there. We're going to talk about that. So applying this to the people around us, hear my heart, applying this to our people around us. So what do I need to do? How do I activate the apostle nature in me when it comes to working with teams and stuff? Here we go. There's some people in your life who need training in your business, and some people just need to be fired. The apostle's not scared to fire people. Paul didn't play. What did he say? Barnabas wanted to take who with him? He said, bro, what's his name? Preacher, tell me, who did Barnabas want to take with him? Mark or whatever? Or Barnabas got fired. Who got fired? Help me out. Barnabas got fired. And Paul said, bro, you ain't coming. Last time you didn't what? No, last time you didn't work. That's what he said. He had the title. He had the training. He said, but when we went to work, you didn't go to work. You focused on looking cute on the website. So, and I spent a whole year out in this water planting these churches and working these systems, and I got busy. And you just look cute the whole time. You look dope, but you didn't do dope. And so next time, you're not coming. You know what pastor would do? Because I'm one. Before I sound like I'm fussing at y'all, let me tell you about my punk behaviors. What a pastor would do, oh, we just need more training. Let's orientate them. You waste so many people saved, but you train one person while 10,000 people are going to hell keeping that one person on your team who is hired by the enemy with a full-time salary to distract you. There's people, you have budgets in your system assigned to dysfunctional people keeping you from prosperity, and you're wondering why you can't increase. You're using your profits on someone who's unprofitable. Apostles recognize it quickly, and they cut the leash. They might say it in a nice way, but they do what they have to do. What do? Apostles do it? Take the charge. I don't want to phone and say, can't our program, but the Lord already said, this person can't teach in your program. You have all the bells and whistles, but I'm listening to the inside of it. Paul said he didn't work. So we must learn how to, some of you all, before you take all this charge stuff, use the opposite. You've been doing that a lot. You might need to train. Activate the teacher. You need to learn to shepherd and shape in business. There's a difference between grooming and growing. So there's a difference between firing, letting go, and letting grow. Apostles know the difference between the three and know to use one out of the three. Is this a situation where I need to fire? Is this a situation where I need to let them, or is this a situation where I need to let them grow? Sometimes there's someone on your team, they can still be on your team, but they have too much proximity with you, and you just got to distance them from you. A lot of entrepreneurs, you start off that way. It's that one person, that two person who's that Timothy, that person who's holding you down, and they're like your best boy, and they help you out. They do what you tell them to do. Sometimes they do it for free. Sometimes you can pay them later, and they're there for you. God's calling, I feel it in the room, God's calling you to shift with some people, and it's not really shifting with them. You're shifting into your next. You're shifting into your next. All right, here we go. So you're in second place. You know God's calling you to first place. You're focused on training and grooming. You'll never create someone who knows how to go at the first place because you haven't been there yet. Everybody you train, the highest they can get is one place. So you're wasting your whole life staying at second place, teaching people how to be at second place. So how to get the first, pause the training and step into the apostle and go for me. Someone say, go for me. Yes, I'm the one with the cute hair right now. Yes, I'm acting brand new. Yes, you think I'm bad. Come on. You have to go for you, and so that God can invent you again, and he will either raise that Timothy up to see you as the Paul in your company again, and step into fellowship. Here we go. Let me tell you something about God. He finds new people. He will some people who will connect with you again. If God can send a third place to look up to your second place, God can find you a second place to look up to your place. He got more people for you. He has more for you. You must learn how to shepherd and shape. Lastly, there's a difference between grooming and growing. Grooming and growing. Grooming and growing. You may not be called to groom it, but you have the ability to grow it. Some men play. Listen, groom, apostles grow. We need both. You can be charged and equipped to do both in the market, but you must know the season of gift that God gave you to do. Listen, which gift that God gave you? Are you called to go churchy in this situation or go business? Business is about work and profits. Is this person yielding optimum result? Is there an outcome? Does this benefit you? Does it benefit your organization? Or does this person make you feel good when you see them? Like, are they doing a job? Let's talk about this. Some of us, we don't have employees. We don't have teams. It is okay. God still building that. I've been great at building teams. That shepherding thing's on me good. But this next season, I'm stepping in. Apostle, be what God told me to be. I've been in my years building teams, and that's not the only thing that God placed in me. I can't be everybody's mother hen. How many chicklins, how many eggs do you have under you? Wasting all your, he's the many-breasted, not you. And everyone's feeding on you, drinking the very life out of you. You're replacing God in every season. We got to get out of here. We got stuff to do. We're going to give you a break before Courtney Martin comes. Listen, here we go. You may not be called to grooming. You must know the season of which gift that God gave you is required. So back to the slide. So here we go. To the shepherds understand the oil. Teachers, the reason why teaching is so powerful, and this is for someone, if you're trying to develop a team, when you teach your team and remind them of the system, or you create that thing, here's the thing. Don't just create the outline and don't share it and don't say it. You got to say it prophetic. Like your mouth has oil in it. So this whole people a document in the email, expect them to understand it. You got to review it and say something to them. So when you do that, oil gets on that sheep's head. So when thickets come out, and the reason why there's oil on the sheep, we get this is why we anoint people with oil. What it represents is this: when the sheep's head is anointed with oil, what happens is sheep all the time fall into, I said this on Clubhouse before, like that. But what happens is the oil keeps them greasy enough to slip through the thing that used to cause them pain. They're able to slip through it. They're able to slip because there's oil on it. So even as an entrepreneur, even though you're an apostle, if you're finding yourself in a lot of, you might need a word. You might need oil assigned to that season, what you're working. How many of y'all heard of Dr. Bill Winston? Anybody? You're blessed. I know a lot of entrepreneurs. He has an anointing for entrepreneurs. The sign, he'll hit you and he'll say something regular, right? But you know it's special to you. That's what you got to surround some those things so you can handle that. Psalms 23:5, you prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. That's the season of stewardship God is calling you as an entrepreneur. And then here we go. Someone say, I have to activate the apostle in my business. Come on, say it. Here we go. This is why. There's a difference between planting and planting. The apostle plants. One thing I learned and love about stewarding this network together with Chanel is Chanel will plant something. Like, what was that last night? That wasn't the plan. Teachers and shepherds got to plan everything. Like, that outline was broke up. We were supposed to be doing awards and ceremonies, planting the seed. I don't know what's going on, but this is what God said. Seed goes in the ground, apostolic work, right? Comes up tomorrow, shifts, different things start happening. Monica starts flowing. She don't know why she's flowing the way she's flowing. Different things in her organization, let's keep it real, start moving and shaking. And when everything's coming together, it's not because she's such a good player. She's a good planter. You have to start planting ideas in people. You know, I would love for someone like you to work with me one day. You look like someone who needs my resources. You don't even know what you're saying. That seed's going to grow. They're going to take a shot and be like, let me hire Earl. They don't even know why they're hiring you. They're not even on your fault list. They're not a lead, they're a leaf. You're planting them. You're planting. They're not a lead, it's a leaf. Some men plant, some men water, but God brings the increase. You can say you don't need me now, but you're gonna grow to like me. I keep planting the idea of us working together. I keep planting. I'm just subtly planting. And one day you're going to want to be great. You're going to want to, look, I love Beyond the Book Media Strategy. Just planting the idea. Every entrepreneur needs a book. You be like, I don't need a book. No, I don't. All of a sudden, Happy New Year. Your pastor gives the word. You think God's going to increase you? And you're like, I need a book. You're like, no, I don't. I'm not looking at those emails. I'm unsubscribing. Here she comes again. Everyone's a book. Planting. She don't even know who you are, but she knows you're seeing her. Who do you reach? My God, we having church up here in my heart. Who do you reach that you don't know you're reaching? Because you're planting. You're planting that which is called to come back to you and bear fruit. You're planting the idea like, I would love to take your pictures one day. Whenever you get me done. They're like, now all of a sudden they fall in love. And they're like, somehow they call you back. What happened? You planted a seed. God, I think this is a whole strategy right quick. God's about to tell some of you all to move from just planning for increase and planting the idea of increase. You should check out our church. I don't go to church like that. All of a sudden the death happens in their family. They need a church. They're like, my guy, what church are you going to again? You planted the idea. We were doing these pitches last night, right? Jennifer Black came up here. Hey, do you know what to do with family? Do you know? Planting seeds. I was like, what? What to do with my family? And then now you're playing, but like I remember her name. And so when I go back, if something ever happened, I'm like, Adria, yo, there's this girl named Jennifer Black. We need to call. I'm gonna end up accidentally her client. She didn't plan for Pastor Chandler to be her client, but though it was just a pitch exercise, she planted is your plant in your email intro. Add the planting. When you see your introduction, when you throw your pitch, when you go, there's seed in it. Woo! It's the seed. You're trying to sell, but what's the seed? The seed is something that even if they say no, they come say yes. It's something in there that life will water it organically. Like when around you is gonna die. Like you might, or like it's in there. So you're gonna eventually fall in love and need a coach. Your life is gonna get hectic. You're gonna need a word. You're gonna need pictures. You're a video. You're gonna need my services. I'm not just doing business. I'm coming into earth as an apostle, and I'm planting seeds. That which is called to me to come back to me to bear fruit. I am taking the charge. Why am I taking the charge? Because I'm waking up like I am in charge. I'm not just going to be a regular entrepreneur. I'm waking up with a bird. I'm tired of planning. I want to plant. God, give me seed. You give seed to the sower. You give seed to the sower, not scale to the. All I got to do is keep planting the ideas. You know I create apps. Let me know when you need an app. I don't need no app. They washing dishes. They're like, all of a sudden money comes in their account. They're like, oh, we can afford an app. All of a sudden they call you. They wasn't a lead. They were a thief. First the blade, then the full car. God is about to increase some business folk up in here. You're about to go to the next level. Now I know why God gave that prophetic word, millionaire. Let me tell you why. When I first heard her say that prophetically, I said to myself, well, how? You know why I was thinking that? I was looking at all the planning, April. I was like, how can I plan to be a millionaire? God said, you're not going to plan to be a millionaire. You're going to plan to be a millionaire. There's going to be something in your business, something in what you do that's going to grow. You're going to grow millions. The harvest is plentiful. The laborers are few. I'm the laborer. I'm the apostle. I'm ready to get to work. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready for activity. Look at someone to the left or right and say, I'm the one. Get busy with your praise right now. 3, 2, 1. Give God a praise. Up in here. I'm not a regular smegular entrepreneur. I'm an apostle. I step into my industry. I get to work. I bind every lazy spirit, every procrastination devil that step in your fourth quarter. My fourth quarter is going to be with so much activity. I'm about to get busy. Some men plant, some men water, but God brings the increase. It's time to get busy. I can't plan to scale to 6 figures, but I can plan so I won't fail at 6 figures. There's too much seed in the ground. Woo! My God. It's too much. Now let's see how God's going to do it. Now see, I'm selling and planning. It's both at the same time. The kingdom of God is like the righteous man or woman who goes to sleep, right? They plant the seed. They don't know how they became a millionaire. They tried their best. Now they had some plans. They prepared a little bit, but they don't know how that year they got the 6 figures. You don't know exactly, precisely, completely how you made that much that month. But somebody came back saying, I want your services. You planted that thing way back. You forgot that. Come on. You too busy paying attention to who owes you money versus going ahead and sowing the money. God's saying they're going to come back to fruit. They're going to come back to fruit. They're going to come back with fruit. Not looking cute, but fruit.
fruit. Come back with fruit. God said, I registered your Zoom hours during the pandemic in the realm of the Spirit. You're going to be paid for faithfulness. Your faithfulness was fruit. You thought you were on meetings and you thought it made no sense what to be on meetings. You felt like you failed. God said you were faithful. God said every meeting had hours going off in heaven. You're going to get paid for showing up. God said you're going to get paid for showing up. There's a harvest for the ones who show up. There's a harvest for the ones who show up. We're going to close with this. Listen, we're going to close with this. We're going to get out here. Here we go. I just want to say, I just want to say this. A little pastor in me. Here we go. John 15:5. John 15:5. Here we go. I am the vine. You are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. That's how you get to millionaire. It's not just from the figures. We're focused on being, how can I get the 6 figures? What we need to say is, how can I get the 6-figure fruit? It's the fruit. When the fruit and the figures come together, Earl, that's how I get the 6 figures. It's the money. It's God math. It's the faithfulness plus the funds. It's the sowing plus the sale. It's the showing up versus the consent. God is about to give you double for your trouble. And it says, for apart from me, you can't do anything. You can do nothing. God said, that's how you're going to get there. You're going to do it in me. You're going to show up Monday in me. You're going to show up Tuesday in me. You're going to do your business in me. You're going to do it in me. You're going to, I see it right now. How are you going to let them go? You're not going to let them go from your soul. You're going to let them go in God. In Christ, you can't work with me no more. When you step into Jesus, there's going to be a tenacity that's going to overcome you, and you're going to handle business. All those activated apostles make some noise as entrepreneurs. Come on, give God a hallelujah. Give God a praise. Hey! Oh! Hey! Oh!